Okay, so here's the big idea of this entire unit is being able to look at all the information together and be able to go from a Venn to a two-way to a tree and back and forth and be able to answer questions using the information you see. So if we look at this, and all of these are going to be different, so don't just assume the information's always going to be in the Venn like it is in this one. It could very easily be some of it on the tree, some of it in the two-way table. So we've got to look and make sure we find all the information. It tells you that the sample size is 100 people, so it labels that there. So I know that these three numbers plus whatever number is left here should represent all 100 people that were in this sample size. So if you start with 100, subtract 3, subtract 47, and subtract 43, we're left with 7 people. So now I have all my information in the Venn. And I'm going to use that to fill out the two-way table. So if I look at this Venn, the easiest one for me to start with is this overlap here. Because if you look at the Venn, this is females that are right-handed or female and righties. This is their overlap, 47. So I'm going to go over to the two-way table and start with female, righty, and add 47 in here. And that's just an easy one to start with. You can start with whatever number you want. That's just the easiest one for me to recognize. Okay. Once I've done that, I can see that, okay, this 3 also belongs to females. So in the two-way table, I'm looking at this row right here of females, and I know that there's got to be 3 here. And so those are my 3 lefties. Together, these two total 50. Right? I think I'm getting better at writing with mouse, so this is good. Now we want to take a look, and I have this 43 right here. I know that that's right-handed, but it is not a part of the female circles. So it's right-handed and not female, so I know that it's got to be right-handed males. So I'm going to put a 43 over here for my right-handed males, right? And you can tell because here's the righty, here's the male, this is where they meet, so I'm going to put that number there. And then you can see that the 7 represents males that are left-handed. So that's kind of hard because it's not labeled, right? But that's something that I would probably, there's my arrow, let's just mess that up. Male that are left-handed. Just so you know, that's what that represents. So there's 7 there. These two total, is that 60, 43? Oh, 50. There we go. Which is good because now we can check and we see that 50 plus 50 equals 100, which is what my sample size is. So I know so far I'm doing pretty good filling out the table. These two, the lefties, add up to 10, and the righties add up to 90, and so again, a good sign that these two numbers add up to 100. So I've got that filled out. And now I've just got to do the same thing with the tree diagram, right? And you can start with whatever you want. I know that one side's going to be male, one's going to be female. You can put them wherever you want. I'm just going to put male up here. I'm going to put female down here. And then I want to just say, usually you'll use percents, but we'll just use fractions here. So I want my total number of males out of 100. I want the probability of males. So I'm going to put that right here. I'm going to use my two-way table to answer that. I know if I look at the males that there is 50 males out of 100 total. So we could put 50%, we could put 50 out of 100. Okay, I'm just going to write, oh, maybe I can do a percent, that might be easier. Look at that, 50%. And you know that 50% are also going to be female because those two have to add up to 100. And now the question is, of these males, how many are right-handed and how many are left-handed? So this is kind of conditional in a way, right? Right-handed males are 43. So 43 out of 50, so I'm going to use a fraction here, right? And again, you could do this however you want. You can use a fraction, you can use a decimal, you can use a percent, right? 43 out of 50 are right-handed. 7, that's a good 7 out of 50, are left-handed. Alright, and so we could leave those as fractions, just because I'm going to try to make them the same all the way around. I'm going to go ahead and at least write one of them as a percent so you can kind of see that 94% of males, that's what this one becomes, 94% of the males are right-handed. Now that's not 94% of our total population, that's just 94% of the males, right? So something you could do there. I'm not going to go ahead and do that because you can tell it takes me an hour to write. So same thing, we just go ahead and say, okay, right-handed females now, and I need to do the left-handed females. If I look at the female chart, you can see that there are 47 that are right-handed, so 47 out of 50 females are right-handed. And that leaves 3 out of 54 left-handed. So now I have everything filled out. This is good. That was the big goal. And now I can just go ahead and answer questions. All right. First one is probability of left. All right. So I just want to know how many people out of the total sample are left-handed. So I look at the left-handed and I see that, okay, there's 10 total. So I'm just going to say 10 out of 100 are left-handed. I should reduce that to 1 out of 10, or you could say 10%, right? Then we go ahead and answer the rest of the questions. After this, I'm not going to reduce just for sake of time, but you need to reduce. Right? So now I want to go to probability of females. So I'm going to go ahead and, oh, I can't undo that. So I want probability of I was going to highlight it for you guys, but that's okay. We'll just leave it. We'll keep it all color coordinated. Might get a little messy here, but probability of female, that's this one. Right, there's 50 out of 100 females. So we can just say 50 out of 100, or 50%, or 1/2. I'm just going to write 1/2. I'm going to write the reduced version. Probability of males, you can see that that's going to be these guys, which is the same as females in this case. So again, I'm just going to write 1/2. And now I want to take a look at this conditional. Okay. And I'm going to read that off of the Venn, just because I've already highlighted the two-way table. So just know that you can do it from any of them, right? This one is probability of left-handed given that they're female. So in this case, I only care about the females. They're already females, that's all I'm looking at. And I want to know, out of the females, how many of them are left-handed? So I go ahead and say, okay, well, there's 50 females, okay? This is my overlap of right-handed. I want left-handed, so that's this number right here. So I know that 3 out of 50 are left-handed. That's a conditional probability, right? You can see that because the total sample size is different here, right? Now we're going to take a look at the other conditional one, and I'll use, let's do this one off of, we could do it off a tree diagram. Really, you could read these off of any one that you're comfortable with, but I would practice from all three. So this one, left-handed, given that they are male. Well, I'm looking at the males, so that's really all I care about, right? And I want to know, of the males, how many are left-handed, and so that's going to be this number, 7 out of 50, because there's 50 males total, and only some of them are left-handed. So that's what I'm looking at for this number, right? And if we wanted to, again, you could just check, and now I'll just make it all messy. You could do the same. You could read the same thing off of each of them, right? So if I wanted left-handed, given that they're male, I'd only care about the males. I'd look at that and I'd say, okay, well, of the males, which one of those are left-handed? That's this number right here, and that's how I'm going to get this 7, right? 7 of the 50 are left-handed. And again, you could do the same thing on here. Well, this is female, so these two numbers have to represent male. These are male right-handed, which means this has to be male left-handed. So 7 out of, add the 43 and 7 together to get 50 are male left-handed males. So that's something you could look at and practice reading from all three.